This one? I'm already
I
checking.
want both of these. Right.
Like what? Slovakia. Make sure we up and running right. Okay, multi Christ. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Shop Rocket Thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Thumb by Shem Shop to the sisters. I'm Priest Officer 50 Quran Yala, holding down the Monday night history class for Officer 500 Natazai. And tonight, we're going to go over, y'all can tell by the title, we're going to go over the history of men erring for women. You understand? I'm sure the world seeing what happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock last night. Him trying to defend that evil whorish of a woman that he calls his wife by violating another brother and him violating another brother because the brother said a joke about his woman. You understand? Which Chris Rock is a comedian. This is what he does. He's going to make a joke about you. But what we're gonna get into tonight is we're gonna get into some of the history of men being weak or feeble for women, right? Now, this brother Will Smith is I'm gonna just keep it 100. The reason why he put his hands on Chris Rock for that joke last night is because the world looks at Will Smith as a weak man behind the actions that his wife has done and him being emotional about the actions that she has done. Like this woman has literally committed adultery on his brother multiple times, and he still chose to stick it out with this shameless woman, Salakia. One second. Salakia. Yeah, but like I was saying, this brother still chose to basically continue a marriage and a relationship with this woman that's humiliated him so many times, right? And this is the mind frame. First of all, this is Christianity at its finest, right? You got brothers, younger brothers, that can sit up here and make a song about sleeping with this man's wife, and the man not do absolutely anything about it. But yet you got a comedian that get paid to make jokes about any and everything on planet Earth. But yet this brother gets mad and put his hands on the brother Chris Rock, which was cowardly. You understand? Like Commander General Yohana, he said it the best. Like the Chris Rock telling her basically to get a job was well needed. So like one more second. I got to get this charger. Salakia Israel charged this thing up. Yeah, but the brother Chris Rock basically made a joke about her. He basically told her to get a job. You understand? Like they not living off of like Will Smith and Jada. They not living off of Jada's accomplishments. They living on Will accomplishments from his shows to his movies, etc. Right? But just the feeble minded man that we looking at in Will Smith, he allowed this woman's actions to dictate how he reacts to him. You understand? And it was cowardly for him to resort to violence towards another brother, which is, by the way, like Chris Rock, this ain't just anybody. Chris Rock is an A-list celebrity. You understand? Like Chris Rock has done a lot to contribute to Hollywood. And as far as like when people talk about black excellence and the ideology of black excellence in America, a lot of people look at people like Chris Rock as one of the pillars in the black community for being a success story. You understand? And you got this brother Will Smith being the emotional man that he resorts to violence from a comedian making a joke about his wife. You understand? And it's nonsense. It's cowardly. It's uncalled for. And like Will Smith should have checked his wife about all of the actions that she has done to make him look like a fool to the world before he ever resorted to violence with one of his colleagues, right? And so basically, what we're gonna get into is we're gonna get into brothers erring because of women, right? Or erring for women, right? And kind of some history of that, right? So let's get into these scriptures, right? Let's go to Genesis, the third chapter, right? We're gonna get into Adam and Eve, right? Adam received a certain set of laws from the Lord that he was supposed to follow. Eve, being up under her husband, was supposed to follow these same laws. You understand? But her her wanted to be a god, so to speak, or on an equal playing field of Adam. She chose uh, to go against those laws, statutes, and commandments, and we're gonna get into it. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1. Let me select it, chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Now, this is not talking about trees, physical trees. This is talking about these trees are other nations. You understand? These other nations and eating of their fruit, like the scriptures say, you know who a person is. I'm paraphrasing by their fruits. You understand? Like what you produce, what you do, what type of activities you into. You understand? And these trees are nations of people, and they fruit is their activities, they way of life. You understand? They ideology of how they're supposed to live on planet Earth. So the Lord said, look, so I'm gonna read that one more time. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. Now, if you know these scriptures, you understand that the Lord not only likens animals to beasts, but he also likens people to beasts. So this is a person. This is a subtle, the most subtle beast which the Lord had created. Meaning this was the most slickest, you know what I'm saying, conniving beast that the Lord has made on planet Earth. Among all the other beasts, he's the most subtle, the most crafty. You understand? Reading on. Salakia. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? So he get at the woman like, look, God said you can eat of every tree of the garden, right? Verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. Now, this tree that's in the midst of the garden, this nation of people that's in the midst of the garden, these are these people are you're not supposed to follow their customs. You're not supposed to follow their ideology. These people are subtile. These people are wicked. These people have a way of life that will lead you to death. You understand? And the Lord said, look, don't follow the customs of them people. You understand? Reading on. Salaki. Verse 4. And the serpent said, Salaki, Salaki, middle of verse 3. God has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. So don't follow these customs, these ideologies of this tree in the midst of the garden. Because if you touch it, you're going to die. You understand? It's like you might ask a person a question like, well, how do you feel about this subject? And the brother be like, man, I ain't touching that. You understand? This is metaphorically speaking. This is how blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans talk to this day. This is not a physical tree. This is not a goddamn apple that your Christian pastor would tell you. Meanwhile, this greedy bastard is finna eat apple pie on Thanksgiving. You understand? This is not talking about that. This is not a physical tree. This is not a physical fruit coming off of a tree, right? And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely, ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So this evil serpent, he got at Eve like, look, man, you're not gonna die if you touch this tree. Like the Lord knows that you're gonna be like a god. You're gonna be on the equal playing field of Adam. Because what did the Lord do for Adam? The Lord made Adam Lord of all of the creatures on planet Earth, meaning he was like a god to everything else that was on planet Earth. And he basically told her, like in today's terms, he basically told her that you ain't gotta listen to him. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be an independent woman. You can think for yourself. Don't let no man rule over you. Like a man is not supposed to be able to tell you what to do, girl. You can do whatever the hell you want to. The same philosophy that Black, Latino, and Native American women have in this wicked society today. This is what the serpent was teaching Eve. You understand? Verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof. So when she heard his spiel on this philosophy of her being a god and her basically being a independent woman and an equal play on an equal playing field and so many other things like this tree of the knowledge of good and evil said, Eve, you don't have to listen to this man. Eve, you can get high if you want to. Eve, you can abort your children if you want to. Like the knowledge of good and evil is a plethora of things that the Lord does not want us to indulge in. And it's all evil, vile, and wicked. You understand? So like you. Where was I? Into verse 6. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Now, Adam, being the man that the Lord breathed the breath of life into, not what the Christian church would teach you. The breath of life is these law, statutes, and commandments. The Lord said, look, you do this, you live like this. This is what makes us alive here in the ISUBK. We follow these law, statutes, and commandments under Commander General Yohana under Christ. You understand? Like the breath of life is the law, statutes, and commandments. The Lord gave the law, statutes, and commandments to Adam. looking up in the sky at the stars and the constellations, and understood. Look, you do this, you don't do that. You eat this animal, you use this animal for this. You don't do this with this animal. You understand, right? So the law, statutes, and commandments is given to Adam. Adam tell Eve, look, this how we supposed to live, woman. We can do what the Lord set out for us to do, but what they got going on over there, that is not for us to do. So uh, uh, Adam basically fell weak up under his woman when she found out these philosophies and these ideologies and these certain evil lifestyles that you can live up under the sun. He fell weak up under his woman and basically indulged in the same type of activities that she would indulge in. That's why I say she took up the fruit and did eat and gave it to her husband, and he did eat. She gave him the food for thought. He thought about she explained to him that these certain type of lifestyles they can live or these certain type of activities they can indulge in, and he partook in it. You understand? Like he listened to the food for thought and he ate it up. He ingested it. He started doing exactly what these other nations would do because he fell weak up under his woman. You understand? And our job as men of the Lord, our job as Israelite men is to lead our nation, is to lead our women, to lead our children, to lead our brothers down the right path. You understand? Not the path of destruction. And you got brothers like Will Smith who who took of the free took of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You understand? He like the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil today is Christianity. You saying that the law is done away with, you believing that the law is done away with, I can do whatever the hell I want to. I can eat any type of abomination that I want to. Any nation on planet Earth besides my own, I can make a league with them and marry into their culture, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Right? I can indulge in America's greatest pastimes and be able to be a great entertainer and have somewhat of a social status in this country. Like in the book of Maccabees, it says Israelite men um, um, were granted licenses to do after the ordinance of the heathens. I'm paraphrasing, right? You got brothers that'll sit up here and tell you that, oh, I'm not supposed to get in women's business, or I'm not supposed to I can't tell that woman whatever that whatever she is supposed to do. She can do whatever she want to do. That's BS and that's nonsense, and that's the way of being a coward. You understand? Like Black, Latino, and Native American men, we supposed to lead our women down the right path. If Will Smith was a brother in the ISUBK up under Commander General Rihanna and was actually taught how to be a real man, you would not, the world wouldn't look at Will Smith as a coward. You understand? Because that's how the world is looking at Will Smith, a coward. People are laughing at Will Smith for what he did to Chris Rock. And I've seen the memes. I've seen the conversations. Nobody is actually really looking at Chris Rock as a coward or somebody that's weak. That's really not what's going on. You would probably think that most people are looking at Chris Rock crazy, like, damn, like why he didn't do nothing back. But everybody in the world understands that Will Smith only did that to get to get his balls back, Salakia for lack of a better term, to to look more masculine to the public because of what happened to him in these recent years and how his wife has basically like took his manhood and him being a man from him. You understand? That's the only reason why he did that to Chris Rock. And what was the reason why? Because he fell weak up under that woman. He let this woman commit adultery on him, and brothers are making songs about sleeping with his wife. You understand? And he just looked back, like you sit there and look at Will Smith like a beaten down, broken man who is weak up under his wife. And that's exactly what happened with Adam in the Garden of Eden. You understand? But Salakia, let me go to what I want. What else do I want? Let me see. Is that what I want? Let me see. Is that what I want? Salakia. And let what happened to Will Smith be a lesson to brothers. Like, don't fall weak up under your woman. The Lord don't want you to be a sucker. The Lord don't want you to be a coward up under a woman. You understand? The Lord chose men to lead women. You understand? And we're gonna get into that in the high saying, but Salakia, let me see if this is the scripture that I wanted. Yeah, Khan, Most High Christ. This is the book of First Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Your woman is supposed to sit back and be quiet when you're trying to teach her something that's righteous. You understand? And she's supposed to learn with all subjection. She ain't supposed to be combative with you, or what if I can do this? Or what if I can do that? And nah, man, it's not supposed to be like that. The Lord said, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Reading on, verse 12. But I suffer a woman not to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. The Lord said, look, a woman cannot teach these scriptures. She cannot usurp authority over the man. Like that red table talk, that is totally against the scriptures. You understand? A woman sitting up there telling a brother that, yeah, I feel like this and I feel like that, and this is why I slept with that dude, and basically you should accept it. And if you look at Will Smith's face during that red table talk, man, good night. That brother had his scrotum snatched from between his legs by his wife, and that's it's sad. You understand? It's sad. But this is the ideology of America. This is what America breeds. America breeds these monstrous women that bring forth monsters. So, Lockie, I'm paraphrasing. If you understand who Jada Pinkett's mother and grandmother was toward her, from the interviews that she gave about them, these women were menstruous women. These women were unclean, filthy women that breeded a goddamn monster. You understand? Salakia. And it says, verse 13, for Adam was first formed and then Eve. Adam was given the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Adam was chosen to be the man to rule over planet Earth with the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. And then he gave those law, statutes, and commandments a righteous way to live unto Eve, right? Verse 14. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman, being deceived was in the transgression. Man, look, Adam didn't get deceived by these other nations. You understand? They had to come to Eve and give her the philosophy for her to give that food for thought to Adam. You understand? So they could corrupt these righteous people that the Lord was trying to build up. You understand? It says, I'm gonna read that one more time. It says, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in a transgression. She sinned. You understand? She transgressed against the laws of God. Of course, Adam did by taking on the philosophies that she taught him, but these philosophies didn't come into Adam's life until his woman brought them to him. You understand? And he fell weak up under his woman, just like brothers like Will Smith did. Will Smith has been beaten down and broken so much, and I'm probably gonna continue to say this throughout the whole class. He's been beaten down and broken down so much, like he literally walked on stage at the Oscars. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the Oscars is like the highest award that you can receive as far as being in the film industry, right? He walked on stage at the Oscars and slapped the hell out of Chris Rock, another black man, another black man. Like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And if you really look, like if you, because I watched the video probably like 100 times, I just couldn't believe it. But if you actually look at what happened, Will Smith actually laughed at the joke at first. Like he was sitting there laughing at the joke at first. Now the camera went back to Chris Rock, but I'm a black man. I understand how black women are. My mama's black, all my sisters black, all my aunties black, everybody black in my family. I know exactly how black women are in this empire. My rib is black, my little daughters is black. I know how black women are in this empire. You understand? And this empire being that serpent in the Garden of Eden have trained our women to actually be the women that want to be in the forefront of life and want to run things. So after he laughed at that joke, and then when he's laughing at the joke, you see Jada Pinkett roll her eyes at Chris Rock like man, this dude got me effed up. Now the camera go back to Chris Rock. He said a couple of words and he get that uh-oh. Now we seen Will Smith get up out of his seat and walk on that stage. And you know why he did that? Because his woman gave him that eye like, you just gonna let this man disrespect me? When it wasn't disrespecting her. Like a lot of black, Latino, and Native American women in this country feel like they can do all type of manner of evil and you're not supposed to be able to say a goddamn thing to them. And that's exactly how Jada Pinkett felt. You understand? And then when she felt like that, she made it known to Will Smith, and him being weak up under his woman, he jumped on the stage at the Oscars and did a very foolish thing to his brother. Come on, man. That's wicked as hell. But Salaki, I'm gonna drop that. Let's go to the book of Job. Job chapter 39, right? The book of Job, chapter 39 and verse 17. Because God hath deprived her of wisdom, neither have he imparted to her understanding. The Lord has deprived women of wisdom and understanding. A woman does not like on her own without being taught, especially in this empire. A woman does not have the wherewithal to make good judgments on raising a family by herself. Like I'm gonna give you an example. Most single mothers, right? When they have sons, they sons tend to be selfish bastards. And the way of life just depends on the person. Meaning this, you might have a woman that has a son, and she's a single woman, but this son does not understand what it is to be a man because he's not growing up around a man. So she's going to breed a selfish brother, a brother that only gives a damn about himself. And I'm gonna give you a couple of examples. Let's talk about the brother that goes to college, right? You got a lot of brothers that are so-called successful in this empire that have been to college, that are well-accomplished brothers, right? But meanwhile, they don't necessarily give back to the black community because the mind frame of a woman that's not being schooled or given the proper guidance from a man that is righteous is to be selfish. It's for her to think about herself. She has to make it in this world. What's good for her? You understand? Like she has to further her career. This is why a lot of sisters they get pregnant with children and they have abortions because they feel that, okay, this baby is going to stop me from doing whatever the hell I want to. And this is literally the mind frame that America has trained Black, Latino, and Native American women. And when this type of woman with this mind frame eventually does have a child, and the child is a man or a woman, but we just gonna talk about the male child right now. That male child is gonna take on those same traits that his mother has as being a selfish, emotional person. You might have a brother that come from a single parent household that he goes to college, right? He's a well accomplished brother. He gets a good job. He's successful. All this type of stuff. Now, what he might do is, let's say the brother's a young man, and he's making money for himself, and he's basically on a high social status in this country. What is that brother going to do? That brother's going to sleep with a woman and throw that woman away at his own disposal whenever the hell he wants, because he doesn't feel that he's obligated to take care of a woman because he's only out for himself, right? What else would the brother do? The brother would also look down upon other brothers that's less fortunate than him, and have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality, right? Or sit back and look at a less fortunate brother like he's beneath him. You understand? This is the product of a woman that's being deprived of having the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on how to keep a family unit together, thus keeping a father in the house, and a father that can instill some moral principles into that son. You understand? And then let's go on the left hand side of things to the street guy, the drug dealer guy, the gangbanger guy, right? A drug dealer is one of the most selfish people in the world. They don't care who dies from their drugs. They don't care who they get into conflict with. All they care about is protecting their ill-gotten goods, and they will kill you behind it. Just like a gang member, that's going to another area to go kill some of his rivals. He don't give a damn for real who's outside, what kids are playing where, and what innocent bystanders can get hit. He's just so selfish and emotional that he wants to go over there and murder somebody because he feel like they did him wrong. This is the product of women instilling being selfish into their children. You understand? And let's talk about sisters. What about the sister that's come from a single parent household, and she feels like I call it the Beyonce independent woman syndrome. She feels like a man shouldn't be able to tell her anything, and should be able to do whatever the hell she wants with her money, with her body, with her free time. And meanwhile, she doesn't care who it hurts, right? You got a sister, she might sleep with multiple men. This sister that's sleeping with multiple men, she might pass on diseases to these men. You understand? And brothers might pass on diseases to these women. You understand? You got sisters that might sleep with one man, and build a bond or a relationship with that one man, and then another man would she builds a relationship with another man, sexual relationship with another man, and these brothers find out about it, and these brothers might try to kill each other over this woman. Like this has happened a lot throughout history, right? This sister played both sides with both of these men. These brothers get into a conflict. You understand? One brother gets murdered, the other brother goes to jail, and then she's still out on the streets doing whatever the hell she wants to. Like this is actually what goes on in the Black, Latino, and Native American community. Or you might have a sister who has a husband, right? And she being so evil towards this husband because she wasn't raised with a father in her life every day, or somebody to instill principles in her, and then she get into conflicts with this brother, and this brother ends up getting into verbal and physical altercations with this sister. And now the sister, she might got brothers or family members that want to defend her honor, and these brothers get into it behind each other, but it's all because this woman does not know how to not be selfish, and she does not know how to respect men. You understand? And we see this all the time, especially last night. Like literally, Chris Rock and Will Smith. Will Smith put his hands on Chris Rock in a nutshell because his woman is a shameless dog. You understand? His woman is a shameless beast. She has put him on display many of times throughout these years to make look like a weak man. To where now, if a person makes if a comedian, a paid comedian, is on is on a stage at a prestigious award ceremony for for films, right? And he says something about this brother's wife. This brother has been beaten down so much and made to look weak so many times that this brother has to resort to violence in order to gain some part of his manhood back. And this is nonsense, man. Salaki for being long-winded. Salaki. Give me 1 second. And we can drop that. Let's go to Second Timothy 3 and 6. Now, matter of fact, is that what I want right now? Let me see if that's what I want right now. Cause I got it. I think I'm gonna run it probably to like 9:30 tonight. Let me see. Um, Go to Proverbs 9 and 13. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. Right? A foolish woman is clamorous. What does the word clamorous mean? Let's look up that word clamorous. Look up that word clamorous. Clamorous. Marked by confused din or outcry, tumultuous, clamorous in the streets, noisily insistent, clamorous demands. Clamorous means a loud mouth woman that don't know what the hell she's talking about. Well, not clamorous means a loud mouth, a loud confuses noise. You understand? Like a foolish woman is clamorous, meaning she's a loud mouth woman, right? Let me read that one more time. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. Like a foolish woman is a loudmouth woman that is simple. Simple meaning this, meaning she can't see past what the hell she feels. She cannot. She can't get the bigger picture. She's simple, foolish. You understand? She's a goddamn fool and knows nothing. She don't understand anything. This is what type of woman a lot of brothers fall victim to, fall weak up under. These type of women. You understand? But let's go into the story of Samson, right? Samson was a strong warrior, right? Strong warrior. He fell weak and victim to a woman named Delilah, which her name means weak, feeble. That's exactly what Delilah made Samson, a weak and feeble man, right? So let's get into that, right? This is the book of Judges, chapter 16 and verse 1. Then went Samson to Gaza and saw there an harlot and went in unto her. Right? So Samson went to Gaza and he seen a harlot. The word harlot means a whore or a prostitute. You understand? Like and then he went in unto her, meaning he went to go have sex with this whore, right? Verse 2. And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him in and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. Right? So these people that live in Gaza, right? They like, man, Samson here. He laid up with that broad. When we catch him in the morning, we gonna kill him, right? Verse 3. And Samson lay till midnight and rose up at midnight and took the doors of the gate of the city and the two posts and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders and carried them up to the top of an hill that is before Hebron. Verse 4. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. Verse 5. Verse 5. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and said unto her, entice him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him up to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver, right? So they understood that, okay, Delilah, Samson is in love with you, like you got a relationship with Samson, man. Entice him and basically like do whatever you can to Samson so he can tell you where his strength comes from, right? And we're gonna pay you to basically tell us where his strength come from so we can conquer this man and kill him, right? Verse 6. And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. Verse 7. And Samson said unto her, if they bind me with 7 green whips that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as another man. So she's basically getting at Samson, like, look, Samson, what will make what will take all your strength away from you? Because Samson was known as a mighty and strong warrior. You understand? Samson fought many battles. He went to war with Philistines. Like the scriptures say, he defeated 2 lion-like men of Moab, right? Samson is famous for being a great warrior. You understand? Skilled at going to war, right? So Delilah, she like, man, like, tell me what your strengths are and how can somebody defeat you? Like you just so strong. How can you be defeated? So at first, Samson basically just telling her a lot of BS, right? Just telling her some BS, right? And look what she do, right? Verse 8. Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green whips, which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Verse 9. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Salmon. And he brake the whips as a thread of tow is broken when it toucheth the fire. So his strength was not weakened. So she like, okay, look, if we tie him up with these, then y'all Tawab, y'all got it, right? Mind you, Delilah doing this for the money. She don't give a damn about Samson for real, for real. She's willing to sell him out for some money, right? And not to mention this woman is a heathen, right? But anyway, they try that. She tell the Philistine like, man, look, this how y'all get him, woo woo. So they brought her the material that she needed. She tied him up and was like, basically to test if he was lying. She was like, "Hey, Samson, they coming to get you." So he broke off of that. You feel me? Like it was nothing. Like, oh yeah, where they at? Woo woo. Reading on, verse 10. And Delilah said unto Samson, "Behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound." Right? So she like, man, you just lied to me, bro. Like, why you come on, man, you lying to me. Tell me what really can take your strength away. I'm dying to know this, right? Verse 11. And he said unto her, if they bind me fast with new ropes that never were occupied, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Verse 12. Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Salmon. And there were liars in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them from off his arms like a thread. Verse 13. And Delilah said unto Samson, hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said, and he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web, right? So she's still trying to find out what can cause him to not be as strong as he is. What is the weakness that can get him in the same strength of a regular man in order to get him killed for money. And he's still telling her BS. You understand, right? Verse 14. And she fashioned it with the pen and said unto Salakia. She fastened it with the pen and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awakened out of his sleep and went away with the pen of the beam and with the web. Verse 15. And she said unto him, how canst thou say, I love thee, when thine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and thou hast not told me wherewith thy great strength lieth. So Delilah is gaming Samson up right now. She like, man, how you say you love me if you lying to me? You understand? Verse 16. And it came to pass when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him so that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all his heart and said unto her, there have not come a razor upon mine head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. So now, after she done pressed him daily, keep asking him, like, man, what's going to make you have the same strength as a regular man? What is going to get you to not be as strong and mighty and powerful as you are? So as she then basically like pestered him every single day, he finally gave in to her. Like, look, woman, I'm a Nazarite. If they cut my hair off, then I'm gonna be a regular dude like anybody else. Basically, like the Lord is not going to be with me if I shave my damn hair off, right? Verse 18. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up this once, for he have showed me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and brought money in their hand. Verse 19. And she made him sleep upon her knees. And she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. So she made Samson sleep on her, basically sleep with his head in her lap. called one of them Philistines to come shave his hair off while he was asleep. And she began to test him. Like when they say she began to afflict him, she started doing like she started trying to cause him pain, and he wasn't strong anymore. You understand? She started basically like to test if he was lying to her. You understand? And he wasn't as strong as he was when the hair came off his head, right? Uh, verse 20. And she said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as at other times before and shake myself. And he wished not that the Lord was departed from him. So he was like, man, look, I'm gonna get up and basically go and do what I've been doing. But he don't know that the Lord is not with him anymore, right? Verse 21. But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters of brass. And he did grind in the prison house. Howbeit the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. Then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together for to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their God and to rejoice. For they said, our God have delivered Samson, our enemy, into our hands, right? So, like Samson, he eventually was bound up by these Philistines and put in prison, right? All because he felt weak up under this woman and told her what where his strength lies, right? Verse 24. And when the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said, our God hath delivered into our hands our enemy and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us. Verse 25. And it came to pass when their hearts were merry that they said, call for Samson, that he may make us sport. And they called for Samson out of the prison house, and they Salakia, and he made them sport, and they set him between the pillars. Verse 26. And Samson said unto the lad that held him by the hand, suffer me that I may feel the pillars whereupon the house standeth, that I may lean upon them. Verse 27. Now the house was full of men and women, and all the lords of the Philistines were there. And they were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women that beheld while Samson made sport. So they sitting back like Samson is Samson went from being a mighty warrior that was slaughtering these damn Philistines to him being they what's the word I'm looking for? Their gesture. You understand? He went from what he went from being the number one enemy to the Philistines and wreaking havoc on the Philistines to the Philistines having him in chains in a prison and basically made him their entertainment, all because he felt weak up under a woman, right? Verse 28. And Samson said, called him unto the Lord and said, O Lord God, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me, I pray thee, only this once. O God, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my two eyes, right? So they even already poked out Samuel's eyes. Like he don't even have no eyes no more. Like they sitting up there just like, man, look, bro, we got sent. Like it's like it's like I'm gonna use Mike Tyson for example. Let's say Mike Tyson had fights against all Edomites, right? And he beat the hell out of all of these Edomites his whole career. But then this one time he gets into a fight with with an Edomite, he has a match with the Edomite. The Edomite beat him and beat him bad. Now Mike Tyson is not looked at as a great warrior. He's looked at like, man, yeah, he beat up all them other white boys, but this white boy, you understand, Salakia? But this white boy, uh, he beat Mike Tyson down. So Mike Tyson is basically a nothing and a nobody, and that's how they're looking at Samson right now. I don't know if that was the best if that was the best, if that was the best example, but Salakia. Okay. Verse 29. And Samson took hold of the two middle pillars upon which the house stood, and on which it was borne up, of the one with his right hand and of the other with his left. And Samson said, let me die with the Philistines. And he bowed himself with all his might, and the house fell upon the lords and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life. Then his brethren and all the house of his father came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Eshtal, and the burying place of Manoah, his father, and he judged Israel 20 years, right? So that was the story of the end of the story of Samson. Samson was this great mighty warrior that was a judge in Israel that judged the Israelites for 20 years. You understand? And his demise came because he fell weak up under a woman, which so many brothers have done, right? But I'm gonna drop that. Let's Salakia. Where I want to go now. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. I think I want to go into King Ahab. Let me see. Let's get into King Ahab. That's what I want. Yeah, time. Yep, that's what I want. This is the book of we're gonna get into King Ahab, right? His evil, wicked wife Jezebel, who was a goddamn heathen. And uh the Jezebel spirit is not the spirit of a whore, right? It's not the spirit of a promiscuous woman like these homosexual pastors want to keep telling you in these Christian churches. That is not the spirit of Jezebel. The spirit of Jezebel is a woman who wants to rule over men by her own means. Anything that she wants to do, she's going to get it done because this is how she feels, right? She will She will do nothing short of killing you in order to get her way. That is the spirit of Jezebel. And a lot of Black, Latino, and Native American women have that spirit on them. Not the spirit of being a whore. Not all of our sisters have the spirit of being a whore. Just like not all of our sisters have the spirit of being Jezebel. But a lot of sisters in the world in this wicked, filthy empire have the spirit of being a Jezebel, meaning they want to run the show. Like whatever they say goes. Like and you see this with the generations that came. I want to say it probably started in like the late '60s and early '70s. This Jezebel spirit, right? Uh, what was that? They perpetuated this spirit on our women in a lot of Black sitcoms in the '70s. Sanford and Son. I believe the sister's name was Esther in that movie. I mean, Sluggy, in that sitcom. They used to always get into it with the main character played by, and I forget the brother's name. Uh, forget his name. But anyway, another black sitcom, The Jeffersons. It was a sister that always used to combat against George Jefferson in that sitcom. Uh, what was the other one I was just thinking of? Good Times. The sister Willona. She never really respected James Evans and him being a strong father, right? She always has certain little things to say to combat him keeping integrity in his family. Martin with Pam and Martin going back and forth. You understand? Like this Jezebel spirit has been perpetuated through society through these black sitcoms and movies that they indoctrinate our people into believing is true, right? But yeah, let's get into this, right? This is the book of Kings, book of First Kings, chapter 21, and we're gonna start at verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth, a Jezreelite, had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria, right? So now you got Naboth, he got a vineyard by the palace of King Ahab. And when it says hard by, it's hard by the palace, meaning it's very close to his palace. Like he could probably look over the balcony and see like this whole vineyard of Naboth, right? Verse 2. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. So King Ahab go holler at Naboth like, hey, bro, you got a nice vineyard that's real close to my house. I want to buy it from you. Uh, if you want, I will give you money for it, or I will give you a better vineyard than this one. But I want this one that you have. Like King Ahab, he's trying to make a deal with it, right? Verse 3. And Ahab said, Salaki, and Naboth said to Ahab, the Lord forbidded me that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. He like, man, no, I can't do this. This is the inheritance of my fathers. I can't give this to you. This was given to us from the Lord. You understand? And I'm going to keep it. Thank you, but no thank you. Right? Verse 4. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite spoken to him. For he had Salakia, for he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread. So King Ahab wanted this vineyard so much that this brother went home being a king, and he was in depression. He was like, damn, man, I want that vineyard. The brother won't give it to me. So he basically went to go lay on his bed, turn towards the wall, and wouldn't eat anything, right? Verse 5. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? So Jezebel walk in the house, she like, bro, what's wrong with you? Why you not eating no food? Right? Slakia. Verse 6. And he said unto her, Because I have spoken unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. Verse 7. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Dost thou now, Salakia, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she like, bruh, don't you run the kingdom of Israel? Like, aren't you the king? Man, look, dude, get up and stop being, uh, 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 stop being, stop being sad about this. You understand? Get up, go eat you some food. I'll get it for you. You understand? She wanted to take charge. Matter of fact, she did take charge. She like, he don't want to give it to you. Yeah, I'll get it for you. You understand? Verse 8. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in the city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letter saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. Verse 10. And set two men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die. Now, Jezebel is a evil heathen. First of all, she's I believe she was a Philistine, either Egyptian or a Philistine, but she was a Hamite. You understand? She was a so-called African, right? And she was like, look, y'all proclaim a fast, right? These men of Belial, these men that worship Belial, our God. Matter of fact, I believe they were Philistines. These men that worship our God, y'all proclaim a fast. And basically, y'all accuse of Naboth of doing something that he didn't do, so y'all can bring him out and stone him, right? Salakia. Verse 11, and the men of the city, even the elders and the nobles who were the inhabitants in his city, did as Jezebel had said unto him, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. Verse 12, they proclaimed a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in two men, children of Belial, and sat before him, and the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. They then carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said unto Ahab, arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money, for Naboth is not alive, but dead. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was gone, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite and take possession of it. Right. So this evil heathen uh, uh, devised a plan to get Naboth killed in order for her husband to receive the land that Naboth refused to give to him. You see how wicked this evil broad was? This woman literally uh, 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 devised a plan to get a man killed just to give her husband a vineyard because her husband couldn't obtain it honestly because the brother refused to give it to her. That's the spirit of a Jezebel. The spirit of a Jezebel meaning I'm going to make this happen and I don't get a damn who the hell gets killed. I don't give a damn who get hurt. Like I'm running the show. I want to do what I want to do and I'm going to make it happen how I see best fit. That's the spirit of a Jezebel. And that's the spirit of Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett has this same spirit on her. She wants to run the show. Meanwhile, Will is the one while they rich as hell. But she still want to run the show. She still want to be able to go sleep with whoever the hell she want to sleep with. I'm sure she planning family vacations that he got to go to. You understand that Red Table Talk showed you everything about Jada Pinkett. Like this man has literally put his all into his career in order to provide for his family and give them the best things in life. And what does this woman do? She goes sleep with a younger man that they allowed to stay in their house. You understand? And he making songs about it. She had a red table talk explaining to him how she had a so-called entanglement with this young brother that he allowed to come stay in his house. This is evil as hell, man. But that's the spirit of Jezebel. That's the spirit that Jada Pinkett has on her. And Will Smith being weak up under her, he basically fell for the okie doke just like King Ahab did. You understand? And it's terrible. And this heathen Jezebel, she did so much evil. She killed prophets. She 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 killed brothers and sisters if they did not want to worship this Philistine god. She built up groves and places where you can go worship these damn heathen gods when this is totally against our God. This is totally against the culture of our people to even marry these damn heathens, let alone let one of them come into our nation and run our business affairs, run the way our nation run the activities of our nation. Like this woman is wicked and evil as hell, right? Let's go back to the book of Job, right? Now everybody know the story of Job. Job was a brother that had a lot of wealth, a lot of possessions. He was also a righteous brother, right? So Satan comes to the Lord like uh, uh, Satan comes to the Lord, and the Lord is like, man, you ever considered Joseph? I mean, so you ever considered Job? He like, man, hold on. So like, let me get to it. So like, let me just use the phone for time's sake. That is the book of Job, chapter 1, verse 8. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. And that's another scripture to cut Christians that say, oh, nobody's perfect. Job was perfect. Salaki almost said a word that I wasn't supposed to. But that's another breakdown. But that's a good scripture to cut Christians on being perfect. So the Lord get us Satan like, look, you ever thought about Job, like how good of a servant he is? So like, I'm gonna read that one more time. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil, right? So the Lord, he flexing on Satan about Job. Man, look, Joe, boy, that's my guy right there, man. He do what he's supposed to do. He follow these orders. He follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the T. There ain't nobody on planet Earth like him. Verse 9. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, does Job fear God for naught? He like, yeah, of course he fear you. Do he fear you for nothing though? The word not means nothing. Does he fear you for nothing? And this is what he meant. Verse 10, hast thou not made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands and sustained it It's like it, and his substance is increased in the land. He like, man, look, of course he's pray. Of course he does what you say. Of course he fears you. You've blessed him with a lot of possessions, a lot of children, a lot of money. Like you put a hedge, like you put protection around Job. You understand? Like you've been protecting Job his whole life. Why wouldn't he love you? Right? Verse 11. Put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. So Satan, like, look, bro, touch everything that Job got, and he gonna curse you to your face, right? Like take all these possessions from Job, and Job is going to curse you to your face, right? Verse 12. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the pressure. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. So the Lord, like, look, man, you could take everything from him, harm whatever the hell you want around him, but you cannot touch him. You understand? You can't touch Job. That's what you can't do, right? Hey, the mess up all his possessions, you understand? But lay a hand on him, you're not authorized to do that. But you can take everything from him, you understand? And what did Satan take from Job? Satan took his lifestyle from him. He took his children from him. He took all his possessions from him. He did so much stuff to Job, but it's one thing that he did not take from Job. And this is heavy, what I'm about to bring out, right? This is the book of Job, chapter 2, and verse 7. Let's go to verse 7. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And he took a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. So Satan put boils from the top of Job's head all the way down to his feet, right? Or from the sole of his foot unto his crown. From head to toe, Job had boils on him. Like if you've ever had a boil, that is excruciating pain. You understand? But Job had boils all over his damn body, right? Verse 9. Verse 8. And he took a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Let's look up that word, potsherd. Potsherd, a broken piece of ceramic metal, especially one found on an archaeological site. A pottery fragment usually unearthed as an archaeological relic. So a potsherd basically is like basically like a broken piece of a vase or something like that, right? Or a broken piece of a flower pot that you would plant flowers in, right? And it said, Salakia, get back to that scripture. And it said, and he took a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Verse 9. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. This is what the hell his wife said to him. His wife said, like you still retain your integrity, like, dude, is you stupid? You've lost everything. All of your children is gone. You've lost all your wealth, and you still remaining with this integrity. She like, nigga, just curse God and die. She's encouraging Job to basically not keep his integrity. She's encouraging him like she's provoking him to 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 um to basically like spit in the Lord's face, or say, man, or speak against the Lord. You understand? And let's talk about, let's think about this. Satan took everything from Job. What didn't he take from Job? He didn't take that woman from Job, because he understood that, look, he can use this woman to get up underneath Job's skin to actually get him to curse the Lord. I just went over a couple of scriptures. We went over Adam and Eve. Eve was the one to bring the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil to Adam, right? Samson was it said his spirit was vexed unto death. You understand? Because Delilah kept pestering him about what would make him not strong. You understand? Then you got Job right here. Job, his wife witnessed all of this physical pain, this mental pain, this spiritual pain, and she basically told him, man, look, bro, you still keeping your integrity, like you're a dummy. Just go in and curse God and die, bro. You in pain, like, come on, man. And Satan understood that. Look, I'm gonna use that woman against you. You understand? I'm gonna keep her alive and keep her around just so she can be one of the tools that I provoke you with. You understand? But I'm gonna drop that. Let's go to First Kings chapter Salaki. Now let's go to Genesis, the 20th chapter. Let's talk about Abraham for a hot second. Because Abraham, one of our forefathers. You understand? But Abraham felt weak at one point in time too. You understand? This is the book of Genesis, chapter 20, verse 1. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, she is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. Right now, you got to understand this, right? So, like, yeah, let me see. That's not what I wanted. Hold on, Salakia. Let me find that scripture real quick. Salakia. Okay, Con, that is what I wanted, right? And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, she is my sister, and Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah, right? Let's jump down to verse 11. And Abraham said, because I thought surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake, right? You want, huh? All right, yeah. So basically, like, Abraham, he got weak at one point in time because he thought these heathens was gonna kill him over his woman. He basically like tucked his tail and became a coward for a hot second out of his life. You understand? And this is not this ain't what Black, Latino, and Native American men are required to be. We supposed to be warriors for the Lord. You understand? Like Abraham did a lot of great and amazing things. You understand? But in this one instance in Genesis the 20th chapter, Abraham basically became a coward because he was not willing to fight, you understand, and die with integrity. He was willing to let these damn heathens just take his woman from him. It's like it's like if you walk through a certain neighborhood and you got your woman with you, and you know they gonna press you, right? And you go to the store with your woman, and some brothers walk up to you and just start talking to your woman, and you just sitting there in the aisle in the store, just looking at a bag of chips or reading the ingredients on the soda or something. You basically just standing down as a man and giving these dudes action at taking your woman from you. And that's basically what Abraham did. He wasn't willing to stand up like a man. You feel me? And he basically he basically was a coward for a short moment of time for his woman. You understand? But Salakia, I'm gonna go ahead and drop that. Let's get First Kings the 11th chapter. This is the book of First Kings chapter 11 and verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love, right? And this is the reason why the nation of Israel was split into two kingdoms. You understand? King Solomon had the kingdom rent from his hands by the Lord because King Solomon fell victim and weak and feeble for these strange heathen women. And what King Solomon started to do when he got up in age from him being weak up under these women, he started allowing these women to have groves and temples to worship their God. When the Lord told us in Deuteronomy the 7th chapter that we are not to marry these people because these people will have us worshiping their gods and doing what they do. You understand? And King Solomon, like the king, the nation of Israel had many civil wars because of the doings of King Solomon. You understand? You're not supposed to fall weak up under no woman. You're not supposed to fall victim to a woman and her trickery and her tactics because uh you just a weak-minded individual and you're letting a woman to run your life. That is not what we're supposed to do. Black, Latino, and Native American men, you're supposed to lead your woman in the right direction. You understand? And if Will Smith had the right teachers to tell him how to lead his woman in the right direction, he would have never got up there on stage and slapped the hell out of Chris Rock for him making a joke about his woman. As a matter of fact, Will Smith would have got rid of that woman as soon as he found out that she committed adultery on him. You understand? Like it's so sad that Black, Latino, and Native American men, women, and children, we so far removed from our customs that these type of fiascos go on day in, day out during this empire. It like this made headlines because these people are famous. Meanwhile, this type of stuff is going on in the ghetto all the time. You got brothers that's being disrespected by their women all the time in the ghetto. You understand? And what happens? Soon as another brother disrespects that woman and he gets wind of it, he goes and murder that brother, and the brother loses his life. And the brother that kills the brother, he also loses his life because now he's going to go to 25 to life in prison. You understand? And this Bible has law, statutes, and commandments on how Black, Latino, and Native American men are supposed to be the righteous rulers of our nation. You understand? And Salaki, we get Romans 15:4. Come on, sleep. My brother and sister sleep. This is the book of Romans, chapter 15, and verse 4. For whatever things were written aforetimes were written for our learning, that through patience and comfort of the scriptures we might have hope. Everything that was written aforetime is written for our learning. The story of Adam and Eve was written for us to learn from that. The story of Job is written for us to learn from that. Samson and Delilah is written for us to learn from that. King Ahab and his wife Jezebel is written for us to learn from that. The heirs of King Solomon and King David is written for us to learn from that. You understand? Abraham is all of this is written for us to learn from it. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm gonna read that last part again. Salakia, that through patience and comfort of the scriptures we might have hope. This Bible ain't just about Black, Latino, and Native American men falling weak up under women. It also has stories of strong men. It also has stories of men following these laws, statutes, and commandments in the Bible. These prophets and these I'm slacking, not these stories, but these written records and accounts of historic events that actually showed you what a righteous man is. You understand? But Salakia, let me get the book of Titus chapter 2 and verse 3. This is the book of Titus chapter 2 and verse 3. The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things. The aged woman is supposed to be in behavior as becoming holiness, meaning our older women are supposed to set the example for the younger women that she's a holy and separate woman. She's not like these heathens. She respects the men of her nation. She respects her husband if she has one. She's not a loudmouth drunk. You understand? She's not a woman that's teaching her daughter that she don't need to respect men. You understand? This is what type of women that we're supposed to have in the nation of Israel. And this is the type of women that we do have in the ISUBK up under Commander General Rihanna. You understand? Salakia. Not false accusers, nor give it to much wine, teachers of good things, not false accusers. You ain't supposed to have no loudmouth woman sitting up here lying about what she seen another person did. She ain't supposed to be a woman given to much wine. She ain't supposed to be a woman that's outside drunk driving and going to go party and high out of her mind. You understand? Teachers of good things. She's supposed to be a teacher of good things. She's supposed to be teaching that young woman how to go make food. You understand? How to comfort a man, how to raise your children to be upstanding people. You understand? Verse 4, that they may teach the young woman to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. Man, look, sisters are supposed to teach, like the older women are supposed to teach the younger women to be sober. Don't be sitting up here getting high. Don't be sitting up here drinking excessive alcohol and out of your goddamn mind, right? And it says to love their husbands. How's a woman supposed to love her husband? A woman loves her husband by being obedient to her husband, by having respect to her husband, not being loudmouth and vicious to that man. You understand? Not being combative with him and telling him he's supposed to be doing this and he's not supposed to be doing that. A woman ain't supposed to be doing none of that, right? To love their children. How a woman love her children, giving them the proper correction. Lead by example on how a young woman is supposed to carry herself towards her family, towards her husband, towards her nation. You understand? uh Salakia, to be chaste, to Salakia, to be discreet, chaste, discreet and chaste, a quiet, private woman. And it's not a woman that's airing out her dirty laundry and her family business all out and going to and fro and sitting back and gossiping about everything that everybody else got going on. That's what a woman is not supposed to be. A woman ain't supposed to be a busybody going everywhere else and all in each other's business and gossiping and telling everybody about her personal problems, right? Keepers at home, a keeper at home. A woman is supposed to be put up in the house and making sure her household is straight. She ain't supposed to be outside at the club twerking, getting high with her friends, sleeping with multiple different men, and basically having a hot girl summer. The Bible is totally against that, right? Good obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed, right? Good and obedient to their own husbands. She's supposed to sit back and be a righteous woman and obedient to her husband. She ain't supposed to be, oh nigga, you can't tell me what I can't do. Excuse my French. You can't tell me where I can and can't go, and I'm going outside to go have fun because I need a break from all of this. Nah, that's not what our women's supposed to be doing, right? And if Will Smith understood his role as a man, then he would understand that, yeah, I'm not allowed to be with a woman that would do these type of things to me. Will Smith does not understand that his woman has committed adultery on him. So he was been supposed to break that off. But yet he don't understand the law, statutes, and commandments of this Bible. He don't understand that he's actually an Israelite and not just some black man that made it in the entertainment industry. Salakia, like black, Latino, and Native American men, we got to do better. We got to come into this ISUPK up under Commander General Yohana in order to fix our damn nation. Because if you don't come into the ISUPK up under Commander General Yohana, you're gonna be and you're gonna continue to be in hell. You're gonna continue to have a hard life with a unhappy wife. You understand? Like they like to say, happy wife, happy life. Nah, man, your wife is never going to be happy unless you show her how she's supposed to live. Now she might think she happy because she can buy all the weaves that she wants to and the long fingernails and put on the eyelashes and go outside to the club and go drink and she got a man that's not gonna say nothing. Yeah, she might think she's happy, but if you allow this woman keep like the scriptures say, do not be so like I'm paraphrasing, do not be surprised when a woman disobeys you. You understand? A woman that you can see that don't need too much freedom, you're supposed to keep her in. Whether it's your woman, whether it's your wife, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to keep her in and keep a watchful eye over her, right? Don't be surprised when she do something out of pocket that you don't want her to do, and then she hurts herself behind you. You understand? Because sisters that think they happy living their best life and having a hot girl summer, doing whatever the hell they want to, they not gonna be happy when they get into a car accident because they was too drunk coming from the club. They not gonna be happy when they get an STD that they can't get rid of and they can possibly die from. You understand? With that being said, Black, Latino, Native American men, step it up as far as living life with integrity and not erring for women. You understand? That's why I'm here in the ICBK, Abundant Commander General Yohana, you have to get permission to talk to a sister. You understand? And then you got to court that sister for 6 months so you can know exactly what you're dealing with before you get into a life with this person. Because marriage is forever unless the sister commits adultery. But you have to understand as a Black, Latino, and Native American man that men rule nations And if you allow your woman to do whatever the hell she wants to do without you checking it, then you're gonna err for that woman. You're gonna sin for that woman. And you might die for that woman. So like it. Let me get this last scripture, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end the class. What was that? First Ezra is the fourth chapter. Let's see. Mm, This is the book of First Ezra and the Apocrypha, chapter 4 and verse 26. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. So a lot of men that lost their goddamn mind for women and became servants for their sakes. Right? Salakia, verse 27. Many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women. A lot of people, a lot of brothers died. You understand? Sinned and made foolish errors because of women. And you seen that last night with Will Smith. You understand? Black, Latino, and Native American men, I encourage you to stop being a coward up under a woman and come into the ISUBK up under Commander General Yana so you can help fix your nation. So like if you love your woman, you would correct your woman and you would tell her what she is to do and what she is not supposed to do, thus saith the Lord. With that being said, I'm Prison Officer 50 Karanyala of the ISUBK up under Commander General Yana. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Yahweh by Shemi Hawashah Barak Thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Lathan by Shemi Hawashah to the sisters. Shalom, Israel.